Hey guys, how you doing? Good Sunday evening or Monday morning, depending upon when you are watching this. I just wanted to come out here today and put together a live stream rather than my normal Monday video for a couple of reasons. First of all, as you guys know, I got that Moderna shot on Friday. Man, that second Moderna shot is no joke. That COVID shot knocked me out. I slept for like 36 straight hours. Like literally, I just woke up like 8 hours ago. I mean, it was bad. And it's kind of a weird feeling, being like, feel like you have the flu, but knowing you're perfectly fine. It's a really weird feeling. So anyway, if you guys haven't had the second shot of Moderna or COVID yet, man, you're in for it. But anyway, because of all that, I didn't have a chance to watch any YouTube videos today, so you're just going to get my stock picks today. Hope you don't mind, as well as my portfolio. So let's get into it. First, I want to do a quick market update. I'm just going to pull my notes over here so I can see what's going on. So first up with the markets is, you guys see on the screen here how the Hong Kong is in gray. It's just flat at zero. So Hong Kong ended up shutting down today for what they call a black rain event. And I didn't know what black rain was. I had to go look it up. But apparently in Hong Kong, they have rain warnings. It's either amber, red, or black. And black is like the highest level. And if they get a black rain warning, then the entire country shuts down. And black rain basically means that they're getting more than 70, I think it was 70 millimeters per hour or minute or something. I can't remember. Anyway, it's a lot of rain. And it causes like all kinds of mudslides and all kinds of problems. So they literally shut down the entire country. And so that's kind of what happened. And that's why Hong Kong's at zero right now. Now, they said they would reopen if the black rain warning was gone by noon. But so far, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So Hong Kong will be zero today. Second thing is, in the United States, we have the June jobs report coming out. And so the June jobs report number is coming out on Friday. And so we'll have to see on Friday what's going to happen with that, if a lot of jobs have been added or if they're kind of getting added a little bit slower. We don't know what's going on. So Friday is going to be the big economic indicator for this week. So we could have a big day on Friday, up or down, just depending upon how those job reports number come out. They'll get published early Friday morning. So just keep that in mind for Friday. And then also regarding the infrastructure deal, as you guys know, last Thursday we had the Biden come out and they said that the Democrats and the Republicans had come together and they had come upon an agreement. And then over the weekend, Biden said that if the infrastructure deal wasn't combined with something else, he was going to veto it. And then that caused this big uproar. And then Biden just came out a few hours ago and he's like, oh, never mind, I'm not going to veto it. Proceed. So anyway, the whole infrastructure deal has come back together. So we're good on that. So that's my market update for you guys. If you don't mind, I'm probably going to pop a couple of these cough drops while we're doing this because I still got this big headache. I still got my throat hurting. It's crazy. That second shot, COVID, no joke, guys. Takes forever to get over. Anyway, sorry about that, but gotta get through this. So, we just check the comments real fast. Say hi to a few people that showed up early. Put up 365. Hey, how's it going? Khalid, how you doing? Hey guys, yeah, we'll talk about AMC. It's one of my holdings. Hi from Hong Kong. Yeah, let us know how that rain is over there in Hong Kong. That black rain warning, that sounds severe. All right, thank you guys. Let's see what Slopey here has to say. And meanwhile, let's get into the... Oh, by the way, the U.S. futures right now are flat. So I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. We'll see. Let's get into my portfolio real fast. And actually, before we start with Webull, I'm going to start with Interactive Brokers. Now, you guys know that I've been promoting Webull and promoting Interactive Brokers for quite some time. The reason is Webull honestly is like the best trading platform out there as far as ease of use, especially for a new trader. But the downside to Webull, two downsides. One, they don't have OTC penny stock trading, and two, they're not available outside of the United States. So what I did is I kind of opened an account with Interactive Brokers, and I've been testing it for a long time. And for months now, you guys know that I've said Interactive Brokers is like the best trading platform for anybody who's not a U.S. resident, or if you want to do OTC penny stock trading, because it's like $1 to make a trade. Well, long story short, Interactive Brokers did the exact same thing that TIPRANKS did to me. I'd been promoting TIPRANKS for a while, and then TIPRANKS reached out, and they're like, hey, do you want to be an affiliate? And I was like, what does that mean? And they're like, oh, we'll just pay you to talk about it. I'm like, well, I already do that. So sure, pay me to do what I'm already doing. Do it. Interactive Brokers did the same thing. You guys know I've been like talking about them as being the best outside the U.S. for a while now. And then they reach out to me like, hey, do you want to be an affiliate? I'm like, wait, you're going to pay me to do what I'm already doing? Sure, why not? So anyway, just let you guys know, I do have a material connection with them now. But I still think they're the best. I've been promoting these guys long before they reached out to me. One thing I really like about them is A, they're available worldwide. B, they do allow OTC penny stock trading. But a little caveat to that, when you sign up for Interactive Brokers, you have to select like your trading permissions when you sign up. And make sure your trading permission, you select United States penny stocks. If you don't select United States penny stocks, then you won't get access to OTC trading. There's no like requirements for it. You just got to select it. You can also do other things. Like I selected Canada and Hong Kong, so I could do some international securities. But regardless, I wanted to go over this right now. And guys, if you guys want to sign up for either Webull or Interactive Brokers, I got links to both of them down in the description below. Obviously, if you guys sign up, it's going to help me out, and obviously it helps you out too. Oh, also, Interactive Brokers, for those of you guys who are not in the United States, they got some of the lowest trading fees around. Quite a few people have reached out to me from like Singapore and Australia and the UK and said they love it just because of the really low trading fees. So another reason. And of course, on both Webull and Interactive Brokers, you get access to the full pre-market and after-hours trading from 4 a.m. until 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So all great benefits. Okay, so start with the Interactive Brokers portfolio. We're starting out with a CCIV January 2023 $12.50 call. So basically what that is it's a leap call option because it doesn't expire until 2023. Which means it can also be a long-term trade, which means it's only going to be a 10% tax on the profits rather than 25-30%, which it normally would be for a short-term gain. And so the market value, actually, my average price is $12.36, and the last price was about $15. So, yeah, I'm up a good penny on that. I bought this some time ago, though. Like maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, back when I first opened this account. That was like my test for options to see how options traded. My HLLPF is in here. I wanted to show this to you guys because some of you guys said, hey, you still holding HLLPF? I don't see it in Webull. Yeah, it's not in Webull because Webull doesn't allow OTC penny stock trading. It's over here in Interactive Brokers. So I've got my 500 shares in there. And then my NNOX, which I got in here, and then I got a little bit of C in here as well. And I don't know why I bought 5 shares of C, but generally what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to, I like to do about 5%, 5 to 10% of my portfolio in any one stock. I put $2,000 in here, so that's why these trades are around $300 a piece. The only one that's not is the CCIV, just because, well, it's kind of expensive to go all the way out to January. But anyway, my break even on that, since it was $12.50 and I got a $12.36 price, would put me right about $25. And if we pull up CCIV here, there we are. I'm already break even on it, and I've still got a year and a half before that thing expires. So that should be good. It's going to be pure profits from here on out. HLLPF, that I got this chart actually pulled up here. So this is where I bought it, that kind of 97-cent range. I don't know where I bought it, somewhere in here, somewhere during this drop. And then, man, that thing tanked, and everybody was like, are you guys still holding? What's going on? Would you sell? I'm like, no, I want to buy more. It's cheap. Of course, I just didn't have the money to buy more at the time, unfortunately. But I just encourage everybody, buy the dip, buy the dip. And then, look, it went up like 50% from in slow. It's crazy. That's why you don't panic. You just hold, buy the dip. And then, let's see. We also have my NNOX. Okay. For those of you guys who aren't familiar with NNOX, because I've also got that in Webull, so I'll just cover two with one shot here. I got 100 shares in Webull here. So NNOX is a company, and what they're doing is they're developing a new X-ray. It's a brand new technology. No, it's not. It's a 100-year-old technology that they were never able to get working. And now that NNOX digitized this 100-year-old technology, it's actually way better than our current X-ray technology. It's also way cheaper. The problem is they have a two-stage approval process. They have a what they call a single imaging clearance that they needed to get from the FDA. That's more like a test sort of thing, just a proof of concept. And then they have their multi-imaging, and their multi-imaging is the one that they plan to sell all over the world. The multi-imaging, the single imaging got approved. You can see this little spike right here on the day that it actually got approved.
Connection lost.
And then the multi-imaging is the one that they have not even applied for yet. So they still have to apply for the FDA clearance for the multi-imaging, which they're expected to do this year. And they were hoping they're going to get the clearance next year. And then assuming that they actually get the clearance, then this thing should just absolutely take off. So I expect this will easily be $60, $70, $80 by the time I get that multi-imaging clearance. So I'm just holding on to this. And as this thing dropped and dropped and dropped, I kept dollar cost averaging down, which is why I've got like $3,000 in here. It's like by far my largest position. But I'm up 4% on it because I didn't panic. I didn't sell. I just kept dollar cost averaging down. Now I'm up 4%. So there you go. All right. And then finally, I'll talk about C since that's in my interactive brokers, and I'm going to check my comments. So for C, I'll pull that one up for you guys. And by the way, C is also in my Webull account. Right there, I got 20 shares, so $1,500 in my Webull account. And when it comes to C, this is Citigroup. They're a banking stock. And I was buying it kind of in this range because I saw it bounce off of the... what would this be? This would be the 300, 200, 150. The 50-day EMA.
The connection reestablished.
I don't know if you can hear my interactive brokers talking to me, but anyway. It bounced off the 50-day EMA. I was like, oh, buy an opportunity. So I bought, and it rose all the way up to like, gosh, what was this buying by? Like 70? It rose all the way up to 80. And it was up like 15% on it. And then we had like the entire banking sector sell-off. And I think that's when I bought more in like interactive brokers. Like, this is too cheap. So I just went and bought more. And now it's starting to go back up. So you see this. A lot of guys ask me how to read the technicals. I'm going to show you right now. This is called an RSI, Relative Strength Index. It's called an oscillator. And what it does is it oscillates between overbought and oversold. If it gets above 70, that's considered overbought. If it gets below 30, that's considered oversold. On the daily charts, this is important. Now, when you get down to like the 5 minute, especially the 1 minute, you want this thing like in the 5 minute, I'd say oversold to be around 20, overbought around 80. On the 1 minute, oversold around 10, and the overbought's around 90. But on the daily, use 70-30. And so this thing at this point was down to 20.40 on the daily. Way, way, way oversold. And this is time to be buying, not panicking, buying. And if you had bought, well, shoot, this closed at, was it 67, and now we're up to 71. So, I mean, you see it, it'll just rise back up. Anyway, banking stocks are going to do great with high inflation and all that. So, I'm going to go check the comments, and then we'll go to the Webull portfolio. Make sure I didn't miss anything super important in here. Thank you. Appreciate all you guys. Yeah, let's do an update. Let's add update in NDM because Yeah. See, we already went over that. Wish. Yeah, okay. We'll do that. We will do NNDM and Wish. And so I'm going to close out the interactive brokers for a minute. So he'll stop talking to me. And let's go do that. Let's do PLTR first. That's what we said, right? PLTR. I don't have PLTR in here, do I now? That's fine. Okay, PLTR. Okay, so for a long time, I thought PLTR would trade in this range around $21 to $24, give or take, like 20 to 25. And now it's up to 26. Now, on one hand, we have this really good momentum building. On the other hand, see their RSI? See what I just told you? If it goes above 70, that means it's overbought. So the RSI is saying, hey, this is overbought. We're due for a pullback soon. And so it's possible we get that pullback back down. I don't know. We'll have to see what happens. It's definitely picking up steam, though. It's definitely picking up momentum. This is some really good, strong momentum. I think if we get back down like this $24, $25 range and then bounce and start going back up, then this boundary that we were in for like a long time is done. It's over with. And we'll rise. So keep my eyes on it. This is looking really bullish. Really, really bullish. I've always believed PLTR was a great long-term hold stock. I've always believed it. And if this thing ever drops back down to that 300-day EMA again, I would buy it. For the long term, do I think it matters if you buy it at 26 or 21? No. I just think it's a great long-term hold stock. But I do think this is going to be a slow grower. It's not going to have that major like 100% gain like we've seen on a lot of these other stocks. I think it's a slow, long-term growth stock. I'm going to cover NMDM. Nope, not that one. NNDM. I do want to cover this a little bit just because I do actually hold this in a TD Ameritrade account. Not a lot of it, but I got a little bit. I haven't looked at this in a while. This is looking really good. My goodness. You got, what is this? 4 closes above all EMAs. You got a rising RSI, rising MACD. This is ultra bullish. This is beautiful. Man, that's beautiful. Let's see if there's any news on it. This is just gorgeous. Red Chip Money Report again. Okay. I'll get a little more people looking at it. Yeah, I don't see any immediate pressing news here. Let's see. See if Benziga's got any information for me. Next generation Dragonfly LDM 2.0 system received a comprehensive update that includes improved print quality, optimization, ink utilization, and smarter management for printer uptime. Okay. I know they were working on that for a long time. One thing about that is it's kind of a good and bad thing, right? So like on one hand, that means they're going to sell less ink. On the other hand, it provides more value to the customers, which could end up providing more sales. So I think it's a good long-term thing for them. Let me just check the comments. You guys have any news about NNDM that you guys know about? Let me just see what we got here. All right. Let's just move on. Let's get through my portfolio. Let's start at the top. All right, AMC. Okay, a couple of things on AMC real fast. My account should be over $15,000 right now. It was at, let me see if I can pull it. There we go. Yeah, I had a high, what was the high of? 15,440. I'm down $2,000 since the 17th. And a lot of that is due to AMC because I did some stupid options on it. Anyway, I did not think AMC was going to trade flat last week. Never expected it. I thought this thing was either going to rise up or it was tank, and my money was on rising up. I had call options that were worthless. I even bought a put option just in case because this kind of scared me, and that even expired worthless. Like, I basically set myself up in what's called a strangle. A strangle is when you bet that a stock will either go up a lot or down a lot. AMC didn't do that. It went flat. And so, yeah, it killed me. It absolutely killed me. Lost a lot of money on those options. Oh well, it happens. I would not trade options on AMC right now. It is not following any sort of fundamental or technical anything. You got retail traders that refuse to sell, which is pushing the price up. You got short sellers, which are manipulating the heck out of it, pushing the price down. It's not like anything we've ever seen before in history. You can't predict it. So just roll with it. This is the little bull flag that Smart Trader did back on, I think, this day. Look, we run below it. Like, it's meaningless. It means nothing. So, fell below the bull flag. Not much of a bull flag if it falls below it. That's gone. I could sit here and say technically it's ultra bearish, because technically it is. But from what I saw last week, that means nothing. It just, I don't know. I can't predict this at all. I've got my 15 shares, which I bought with profits, and I'm just going to hold them. I don't know what else to say about AMC. It's a weird one. Ooga booga. There you go. It's about all you can say. That's it. All right, let's talk about AMD, because I'm up 46% on this call that I bought last week. So you're going to notice in my portfolio right now, I've got a lot of call options. And what I did is something a little bit different. Let me see if I can pull it up here. Let me see if I can get this up on my screen. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to pull this over for you guys. So what's going on here is there's this thing called Reddit Stock Mentions bot. And basically what it does is it's a Twitter bot, and it just goes through and it lists the trending stocks on Reddit, right? And so what I've been doing is I've been looking for ones that kind of start out down here around 8, 9, or 10, and then they start to rise. And as they start to rise, I'm like, ooh, this might get a lot of interest. Let me buy it, because people on Reddit might buy it. I might push the price up. So I buy these month-long options. You know, just basically playing off of Reddit and hype. And so that's why I've ended up with a lot of options I have, including AMD, which at one point was way up there. It was like a number 3 spot one day. So that's why I bought AMD, and I bought it, I don't know, somewhere around, I don't know where I bought it, somewhere around here. But anyway, it's gone up, and I'm up 40% on this call right now. AMD's at 85, and I've got an $85 July call. It's already at $85, so there you go. That's why I'm up. And I paid $1.88 for it. Gives me a break-even price of $85 plus $1.88 is $86.88 would be my break-even. But of course, I don't plan to hold it that long. I'm just going to hold for a run-up. So right now, we're not even overbought yet. Everything's still rising. Everything's still bullish. So I think AMD's got more room to run. Probably $89, somewhere right in here, would be a good price target for me to sell and get out. So I'm looking to probably sell this when it gets up to around 89. That'll get me up about probably, well, let's see. If we close at 85.62, here's what we can do. So I'm going to pull up this call option, if I can. It's not going to let me do it like that. Oh, come on, come on, come on. Oh, you know what? I'm not going to get the Greeks, though, am I? Does it? Yes, yes, yes. Okay. So the delta on here is 0.55. So what that means is this is going to rise 55 cents for every dollar that the stock moves. So if we have a break even of, well, actually, let me think. So what I really want to do right now is I want to get to 89. We're at 85. Call it 86 to 89. Call it $3 more. So if we rise $3 more, we have a delta of 55 cents. That puts us at $1.65, which means this will rise another $1.65 as the underlying rises $3. And so that'll bring it up to, let's see, 65 cents will put us at, let's see, 280 plus 60 is 340 plus $1, so $4.40. So I'll probably end up selling this when it gets up to around $4.40. And I paid $1.88 for it. So, you know, it's more than doubling my money. It should be up over 100% by the time I sell. So hopefully that one goes well. Okay, let's get through this because I don't want this to be an hour-long video. Next is Beam, BEEM. And Beam Global, this is another one of those renewable energy companies that I think should do well under the Democrats and Biden, especially with this infrastructure deal coming. This is one I've been holding for a long time. I'm still down 10% on it. But it is rising just like everything else. It all looks good. We're at about 59, so about midway point on the RSI. MACD is still rising. We're above all of the EMAs for 4 days in a row now. So it all looks very bullish. So I'm hoping that I get back to even here pretty soon. I'm only 10% away. So this is one I hope to get back to even with soon. I think this will do extremely well with Democrats and the infrastructure deal. Okay, next up in my portfolio, BNGO. I'm up 24% on this now. So happy to see that because I was down for the longest time. But this is another one I just kept dollar cost averaging down and dollar cost averaging down. And no, I did not get lucky enough to buy at 430. I think my lowest dollar cost average down was around, I think it was around $6 was the lowest I got. But this one obviously had a nice spike up. It's still the MACD histogram here. As you can see, it kind of dropped down. I'm going to see if I can zoom in. There we go. So the MACD histogram kind of dropped down, but now it's started to rise up. We have the RSI rising. We're back above all EMAs. So whatever this little dip here was, it looks like it's over, and we're ready to run back up again. This stock should perform extremely well over the next 2 weeks. I've got a lot of high hopes for BNGO. This might be one you guys might want to consider buying for Monday if you're not in it already. This is looking pretty good. All right, next up, CC. I already talked about that. CHPT. ChargePoint Energy. This is another one that I bought based upon... What is this? Oh gosh, I bought this a little while ago. This is a long-term leap one for me in January 2023. And I just think ChargePoint's going to do extremely well, especially again with the infrastructure deal, with the Biden's put on very specifically calling out EV charging stations. Like they literally mentioned that in the infrastructure bill. So I think CHPT is going to do extremely well. BLNK, Blink obviously would be another one. And then, oh gosh, what's the other one? EVgo. What is the EVgo's ticker symbol right now? They haven't merged yet, have they? No, they haven't. I can't remember. What is EVgo? Anybody remember what EVgo is? We got, CLII. Okay, CLII. There you go. Good to have notes. So there you go. EVgo jumping, skyrocketing. Man, should have had this one. Missed out on that opportunity. Holy smokes. But don't go chasing. Don't go chasing. We have 72 on the RSI. This thing, it's going to pull back. It'll get back down to around the probably, I don't know, 10 or 21 day EMA down here around 13, 14 bucks. So don't go chasing that one. Just be patient. Let's see. Okay. Hey, Larry Jones, how you doing? Good to see you, brother. All right, CLOV, weekly call option. Okay, CLOV is another one that popped up on Reddit. That's why I bought that one. I didn't do a July one on that because, honestly, I was just out of money. I was just literally scratching here. So I ended up doing a weekly for 16 bucks, and instead of going up, this thing went... So, yeah, I can't win them all. Oh, well. I'm going to hold on to this one, and this thing expires Friday. With these short-term options, you notice what I put in here. 80? No, $126 out of a $15,000 portfolio. You know, this, anytime you're doing weeklies, it's either a day trade or a gamble. For me, it's mostly a gamble. I'm going to let this one expire worthless. I'm going to hold it till Friday because you just never know. This could pop up on Reddit again. It could just take off, go to the moon. So I'm just going to hold it, hope for something good. And if it doesn't, oh well, I'll be out my remaining $40. Not really concerned about it. CTRM, Castor Maritime. You guys know I've been talking about this one for a while, back before the split. This reverse split kind of shook me. I didn't really... I saw the big drop, should have waited. Now we're down 23% on it, but that's okay. This thing is going to be great long term. I'm telling you guys, this is going to be awesome long term. We just got to be patient. We're at 31 on the RSI. This thing is oversold. It's been oversold. Stocks like this is when you want to be buying. You don't want to be buying them way up here when this thing was at like $18. You want to be buying down here at $2. You know what changed between the time it was $18 and $2? You want to know what changed? They have twice as many ships, the profits are through the roof, and they're almost profitable. That's right. This stock has become significantly better than where it was when it was $18 a share. You think it's a good deal? You're wrong. It's a great deal. It's an awesome deal. You should seriously be considering it. Okay, next up, DKNG. Oh, so this is one that had popped up on Reddit and YouTube and a few other places. DKNG is kind of an interesting stock because I thought it would do well, but at the same time, look at the, hold on, this is not the right stock. Okay, so I thought it would do well, but I also noticed that this thing likes to go down and up, down and up, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. So I really wasn't sure how long I was going to have to wait for this thing to rise. So I ended up buying an August call option on it instead of a July one. So I wanted to give myself a little bit more time for this to actually start going back up. And luckily we are now starting to rise back up. If I zoom in here on the histogram, you'll see that we dropped, but now we're going back up into the green. So this is bullish. The RSI is only at 53. So we're just like at the midpoint right now. And everything, with the exception of the EMAs, is looking really, really bullish on here. But we are rising. All we need is a few more days, get above all the EMAs. This thing will be golden. So I really like DKNG for both the short-term and long-term play. This is a online sort of gambling site. They're only in, I think, 18 out of 50 states so far. So they have tremendous growth ahead of them. This is going to do extremely well in the long term. Stockmo loved it for a long time. He kind of got me into it, but I always felt like it was too high of a price. But after the drop, baby, I bought it. So I got a call option on here, and we are 10% on this call option right now. All right, quick look at the comments. Guys, how you doing? Great to see all of you. Wonderful. Okay. Yeah, I do want to talk about SPCE. Let me do that real fast before I forget, because I tend to bounce all over the place and forget what I'm doing. So, we got to talk about this, man. I missed out on this. I completely missed out on this, and I hate it. I hate myself for it. This whole thing I was talking to you about, this Reddit thing, if we look at this. So, I was looking like this day, right? Do you see SPC on here? No, nowhere. So I'm like, okay, we'll see what happens. Go back up. Oh, look, SPCE jumps into 5th place out of freaking nowhere. I'm like, okay, maybe it's a blip. I've seen these little blips pop up, one day and then they're gone. June 25th, SPECE pops to the number 1 spot. June 25th, too late. It was too late. So nothing I can do about it, really. I'm trying to catch these by following this Twitter feed, but man, sometimes you're just too late, and I missed out on it. I'm certainly not going to do an option right now. You don't want to buy an option after this kind of run up because, look, the implied volatility will absolutely kill you. Look at this implied volatility. Look at this. 800%? That's higher than AMC. I'm not touching that. Like, I rarely, ever want to go above 100%. This will, you will get killed by this. You know what you need to do with this kind of implied volatility? Sell these suckers. You sell options when the implied volatility is this high. You will make money selling. Go do some sort of, I don't know, a bullish put spread or something. Like, buy the stocks, sell the covered calls. Like, this is money waiting to be made. Sell options. This is money waiting to be made. This is crazy, this implied volatility. As far as the stock, I wouldn't buy it either. We're at, what, 83 right now? Okay. Obviously, it hit Reddit, blah, blah, blah. Let's go check the news. And let me see if I can find... Where is that news? Well, let's go earlier in the day before everybody was just talking about the price action. Okay. There we go. Is this going to pop up? Can you guys see this? Well, you should. Hopefully. Let's see. Oh, there we go. All right. Virgin Galactic surges after FAA approves commercial space launch license. Obviously, this was a huge piece of news for SPCE, something that they needed to kind of take off. That wasn't the only bit of news, though. There was something else. Where was it? I mean, that was obviously by far the biggest. I thought there was something like a day or two before. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. Oh, I don't... Anyway, I thought there was other news before. If you guys know what it is, let me... You received a contract to be the first to bring clients to the moon. Okay. Yeah, I knew there was something else. Thank you very much for that, X-Men. I appreciate it. So, yeah, SPCE, definitely way too late to be getting into this. Wait for a pullback. This may very well does what's called closing the gap, which means when you get a gap like this, it'll try to come back and close it before going back up. So I wouldn't be surprised to see SPC drop back down to around $41, $42 before going back up. Be patient. You don't want to be buying this when it's at 83. You sure as heck don't want to be buying options. But if you want to sell options on this, go for it. This is the time to be selling options and making money. Okay, let's go through everything else here. We have a LAZR. This is another 2023 LEAP call option for me that I'll be holding for another 18 months. LAZR, about a few months back when I noticed the short interest was through the roof high. And this is very slowly going up. I'm up about 21% on this call option right now. And it's literally, I just bought that for the short interest. That was like my only reason. MS, Morgan Stanley, that's another banking stock like Citigroup. Has the exact same chart as Citigroup. So this is Citigroup that we talked about earlier. And then if I pull up MS, you'll see the exact same chart, just not quite as extreme. So really Citigroup, Morgan Stanley, exact same things. Goldman Sachs is another banking stock I love, exact same chart. So it doesn't really matter which banking stock you buy, but I do like to diversify a little bit. So that's why we've got MS in there. Okay, NNOX, we just talked about that one. OCGN, Ocugen. So my Ocugen is up 32%, and I sold a $15 covered call. Buddy, I bought this thing at $6.30. If this thing gets to $15 by the end of, well, let's see, another 3-4 weeks, I'll be perfectly happy to sell it at 15 bucks. I'll be up like, what, 250% at that point. But yeah, I don't think this is going to get anywhere close to 15, but whatever. So I still got that covered call in there. And the reason that we bought that guy is partially because of short interest, but also, where's my news? So, I mean, you see all these spikes and everything, right? You closed your Ocugen leaps. Interesting. Okay, well, I see a golden cross on the MACD. I see a rising of the MACD. I see an RSI at the mid-level. I see a candle that is now above all the EMAs. I see nothing but bullishness on the stock. 100% bullishness. Love it. Absolutely love this stock. Wish. You guys wish I would talk about Wish, don't you? We'll get there. I promise. Okay. No, I better do it now because I always forget. Let's go. WISH. And that's going to be our last stock pick. Then I'm going to get through with my portfolio. We're going to call it a close. All right. This guy, what did I do on this? You guys saw last week. I bought the stock, sold a covered call. The stock I was up like, what was I up? Like 5% on, and the covered call I was up like 30% on when I closed it out. So I made like 35% on the stock. But when I saw this consolidation right in here, you guys see this? Let me see if I can draw this for you, make it easier to see. So basically what I was seeing was this sort of consolidation right in there. And I was like, man, I think I bought the stock here, sold the covered call here. It like went up. I think it hit my covered call price even, and then came back down, and then I closed it on like Friday. Or wherever it was. I don't remember exactly where. But anyway, that's kind of how I made the money. But this consolidation is a rectangular pattern. It is bullish. But the problem is it could stay here for a long, long time before it actually breaks out. And so I wasn't sure what was going to happen. I didn't want to sit on it forever, especially when there was other plays. So I decided to close it out. And now, bam, it's going back up again. Regarding the stock itself, let me see if I can pull this up, show you guys what was going on here. Give me 1 minute. Okay. So Wish was actually, when it first started gaining momentum, it actually wasn't that great as far as like short squeeze or anything. But what it was is at the time, before it had this big run up, this thing had like a 75% upside. It's only 26% now, but at the time it was like 75%. And I was like, man, this thing is undervalued. And so this thing being that undervalued, plus with all of the hype coming in from Reddit, I was like, this thing's going to take off. And it did. It is taking off. I think since then, short sellers have now jumped into it, trying to push it down. So if it keeps going up, you could even get a short squeeze on it. I don't know. I honestly have not been following it too much since I closed it out. So I didn't follow it last week. So they closed it out the Friday before. So I closed it out here. And then, well, obviously I wish I had held Wish because literally Monday it jumped again. But, oh well, you can't predict the market. And so it's just whatever. But anyway, it's doing well. Still has another 26% upside on here. And then in addition to the 26% upside here, we also have that now possibility of a short squeeze. So this is a very interesting stock. I think it's good. It's at 66 now, but you know what? I still think it has room to run up. I don't think this is done. It'll be interesting to see. I think this has got a little bit more room to run. I drew a resistance level here at $15.47. That is going to be a tough spot for this to break through. So I think it's very possible this gets up to $15.50 and then it pulls back and starts going back down. Because at that point, it will be overbought and it'll be at resistance. And so you'll have a double whammy here. It's going to be really hard for this thing to break through. I think you'll get a pullback and then maybe a second shot at it. Before you actually get the breakthrough. So that's kind of what I think will happen there, but who knows? I could be wrong. Just my opinion. Okay, let's get through the last of these real fast so I can get to bed because I'm still got these side effects from that COVID shot. All right, PSFE, this is one I just bought on Friday. This is PaySafe. It used to be a SPAC. It was BFT before the SPAC. And I actually bought it right here, but the option went down a little bit. But PaySafe got some news that Friday after the market closed, they were getting included in the Russell 3000 index. Now, sometimes when a stock gets included in the index, the next Monday, especially pre-market Monday, you'll see the stock price go up because people will start buying that stock in order to get it into their ETF portfolios. So it can certainly be a catalyst. Now, the interesting thing here is we have a doji. Now, doji is normally a turnaround, but the thing is, it's in the wrong spot. So just ignore the doji, okay? It's meaningless. And what I'm really looking at and hoping for and fingers crossed on is we have our 300-day EMA, our 200-day EMA, and then our 100-day EMA. And what I'm hoping for is that the Monday rise pushes this thing up here. At that point, we will be above all of the EMAs except for the 150. And so what I'm really hoping for on Monday is that we get, the 100 and 200. We'll be above all of them except for the 1 and 200. So I'm hoping that Monday's buying from ETFs and pension funds and whatnot is going to push this up to this level, and it's going to make this thing look a little bit more bullish. We're still only at 50 on the RSI. Don't be scared off by this spike. It kind of forced a golden cross, so we'll see. This one's a little bit more of a gamble because it could kind of go either way. But I'm hoping that we get a little better on the technicals after a rise on Monday, and then that kind of pushes it up and kind of pushes us into a new bull market. This is a fintech company, by the way. They do payments for a lot of like gambling sites and stuff. So as companies like DKNG continue to grow, PaySafe should continue to grow. I think this is a great long-term stock, and I'm just doing a little bit of a gamble in the short term on it. But as a long-term stock, I think it's a great buy. All right, next up is SENS. You guys can stop chatting about it. We're doing it right now. Love you guys. And SENS, pull it up real fast. Obviously, I've had this stock for a long time. Way back here, when it was like $1.90, I sold a $4 June covered call. Scared the bejeezers out of me when it got up here because I really didn't want to sell this thing. And then luckily it pulled back right before the expiration. But man, that was scary. Anyway, I've got another covered call on it now at $6. So I'm hoping it stays below $6. We'll see. That's my hope. I mean, wasn't 6 an all-time high? Yeah, 550 was the all-time high. So hopefully it stays above 6. For those of you guys who don't know what SENS is and why I've been holding this thing for months and continue to add on, SENS is a company that is absolutely going to revolutionize life for diabetics. And basically what they do is they have an implantable blood sugar glucose monitoring chip. And so rather than having to prick your finger all day long, what this thing does is it basically connects to your cell phone, and your cell phone will tell you your glucose monitoring level. And if you're high or low, your cell phone will actually alert you without you even having to check it. And so a while ago, they got they're doing it in stages, kind of testing, kind of like NNOX started with their single imaging. Now they're doing their multi-imaging. Well, SENS doing the same thing. SENS started with a 90-day chip. Now they're working on their 180-day chip approval. And then the end game is their 365-day chip approval. And what that means is right now they have a 90-day chip. It's got to come out every 90 days. Eventually they'll get to a 180-day chip that'll just be in there for 6 months. And then their end game is a 365-day chip that'll stay in there all year. So they'll have to get replaced once a year. Right now they're 90 days approved. They're 180-day they're working on. What caused this run up right here is they had a 180-day trial, and it came back that the chip was even better than they expected. The results were more accurate than they expected, and the alerts were more accurate than they expected. And so that's just sent the stock absolutely skyrocketing. So now we're going to wait for the 180-day approval, which I think they've already gotten in Europe. We're just waiting for it here in the US. And then the end game on this one is the 365-day chip. Like I said, it's going to absolutely revolutionize life for diabetics. So really excited about this stock. And that's why I continue to hold and continue to do covered calls, pulling a little bit of extra money. But man, the run-ups are scaring me. I don't want to lose this stock. So hopefully it goes up slow and not fast. All right, TSLA, Tesla. This was another stock that popped up on Reddit and why I bought a monthly call option on it. But it wasn't just the fact it popped up on Reddit. I had other reasons for buying this as well. And I had covered this a number of times on the channel. And we had always talked about if it ever dropped below 600, buy it. Well, in addition, you see I'm going to turn off the EMAs for a second because they don't really matter right now. So you see this long-term, and I mean long-term, trend line that I drew, going all the way back to March of 2020. So about a year and 3 months that this trend line is kind of held. And so I got a little scared when we dropped below the trend line, but it also bounced off a strong level of support here. So I was like, okay, well, at least it bounced off the support, and then it immediately got back above that trend line. I was like, okay, cool. So we had one more day close below it, but other than that, it's been above. And so the other thing is this was forming a wedge pattern, actually a bullish wedge pattern. And I was like, this thing's going to break out. And we got to about right here, but I wasn't sure which way it was going to break out. I wasn't sure if it was going to go up or down. When it went up, I bought. I immediately bought that call option this day right here. I saw it broke out and it went up and I bought the call option. And then it shot up again, got up to almost 700. What was the high of that day? $697. Woo! And then it came back down, of course, a little bit, but that's fine. I'm just going to hold this thing. We honestly, if I put the EMAs back up here, like, remember I talked about filling the gap? So you see the little gap right here? So we're probably going to drop back down to this gap level of $658. I'm thinking Tesla gets back down to 658 before it starts going back up. It may get down to the EMA level of 644 before it starts going back up. Somewhere between 644 and 658, I think we'll bounce and we'll start going back up. But I'm not going to try to day trade this option. I'm just going to hold it since I got till January on it. Not January, sorry. The end of July 16th. It's a $700 call option that I paid $13 for. So my break even is $713.45. My price target on this, just to let you guys know, and I'll go ahead and draw it. My price target is $780 based upon this guy right here. So this is kind of my price target. So my goal is it's somewhere before the end of the next 3 weeks. Tesla is back up to the $780 level. At that point, I plan to sell the call option. And at that point, I should be up. Oh gosh, it'll be worth probably $90 at that point on something I paid $13 for. So that would be a $7,700 gain on a $1,300 investment if it gets there. Right now I'm up 56%, so good little chunk of change here. Okay, then let's see. Did I miss any super chats? No. Okay, good. Okay, and then the next thing is TTOO. And by the way, for all of you guys who are asking about stocks like NNDM and AMC and all that stuff, I've already covered those. You'll just have to go back and watch the replay when we're all done. Okay, TTOO, you know, I haven't looked at this in a long time. This is a genomics company very similar to BNGO, but it just hasn't had the turnaround and run up like BNGO has. So I still like it. I still believe in it. I'm just being patient. So it's looking pretty bearish right now, though. I'm not going to lie. The MACD is dropping. RSI is dropping. Everything's below all of the EMAs. This thing is looking ugly. I wouldn't even buy this right now. I would wait for it to bottom out. Maybe at $1, because we kind of have support down here at $1. But man, this thing is not looking good. I don't know. We'll see how much longer I hold on to this. I'm losing hope, but not giving up yet. Not giving up yet. What was this at one point? $3.79. Well, it shows you guys the potential anyway. Let's see if we got any news on this. I'm just curious because I haven't looked at this in forever. Oh, are they doing share offerings? Yeah, they are. Yep, that's probably why. No, revenues are looking pretty good. Up 130%. Okay. Well, They're growing. That's the important thing. When you have a growth stock, you definitely want to see growth. And we got growth. So that's good. I like this. I like this right here. You've got your revenues are up like 200%, 150, 170, but the cost of revenue is only up 70, 142, which means their profits are going to be going up as well. -9, -8, -7. Yeah, that's what I like to see. This is good. This is good. Okay. We're getting there. It's going to be a slow one. This is going to be slow, but we're getting there. Let's see how much cash they have. They got $10 million as of last quarter. Let's see what the cash burn was. 6 million, but that doesn't mean anything. You got to subtract stock. They really didn't issue much stock at all. So 6 million in a quarter, 10 million. Yeah, they got like 4 months of cash left. That explains. But if they did 150 million share offering and they're only going through 6 million a quarter, that's going to get them through years. They should be good for a while. Okay, so share offering knocked them down, but that'll put them in a good long-term position. Okay, I think this will be a good long-term hold stock, but I wouldn't buy it yet. I'd get this closer to $1. Finally, we're going to end with WKHS. Workhorse is another stock that I bought late last week after the whole Reddit. It's not even on here anymore. That's a bummer. It was, I promise. There it is, number 8. Yep, I thought it was going to be rising. It's a stock that was like very, very, very heavily shorted. And I gotta tell you, I actually feel bad for Jack Spencer. Jack Spencer is another YouTuber. We used to cover him on this channel, and we dropped him just barely. It was like a 49% vote to drop him. Now, by the way, we're actually, if you go over to the community tab right now, we actually have another vote going on for July YouTubers. So make sure you go over there and vote. I'm going to update tomorrow with some questions on who you guys want to replace, and then we'll have a whole new set of YouTubers for July. There's only 2 people in consideration right now for getting axed, but make sure you go over to the community tab and vote if you want people to stay or go. So I felt bad for Jack Spencer because he kept producing videos on Workhorse, and he was talking about it. Well, as this thing dropped, he started losing viewers, and then it continued to drop. He started losing viewers. It continued to drop. He started losing viewers. I went and looked, and his videos are getting like 3,000 views. He was getting like 30, 60,000 views. Like, yeah, 50, 60,000 views. Now he's got like 3,000. I felt bad for him because when people see a stock drop like this, especially a stock you got high conviction on, they lose hope. They just completely lose hope. And people don't realize that when you've got high conviction on a stock like I have with something like TTOO or SENS or NNOX, you've got to be patient, right? Like when you've got long-term outlook, you've got to be patient. Short sellers are going to hit that stock. There's going to be whatever economic news that comes and hits it. But if you know for sure you've got a great long-term winner, you hold. Because what ends up happening when you hold? Well, I'll tell you what ends up happening. What ends up happening is eventually your BNGO goes up 24%. Your NNOX eventually gets to the point where you're up 5%, right? Your PLUG that you were down 40% on goes up 1%. You be patient and it will pay off. I can't tell you over the decades how many people thought Apple, AAPL, was a done-for stock. I can't tell you how many people thought, oh, it's going to go down to 0. Oh, it's going to go down. Every single time that thing hit some sort of bear market on the stock, people said the worst things about that stock. And you know what? You know what happened to AAPL? Well, the people that held for a long time, I'll just pull up the monthly chart for you. This is what happens. You know what? Look. At this point, 2008, yeah, well, everything went down. But now look, 2012 to 2013, people thought this thing was done for. This thing went from 24 all the way down. Well, this is, again, before splits. But you think about what kind of drop that was. I mean, 24, what was that? Divided by, yeah, 41% drop on Apple during that time period. I mean, can you imagine the people that held this when it dropped 41%? And everybody said this thing was going to zero. They just held. And then we're back up to 32. And then look, it happens again. You go from, 33 all the way down to, what was that? 22 at the low. 33, 33, come on. 33, 22. That was another 33% drop during this time period. Everybody said it was going to go to zero. Well, people held. And then you had this, yay, now it's up to 58. And then it dropped all the way back down to 35. And now look, 58, 35, divided by 58. It's another 40% drop on the stock. 40%. I mean, my goodness. I mean, you had to have balls to hold during this time. Especially when everybody's telling you this thing's done for, it's worthless, it's going to zero, and then you hold, and it goes up, and it goes up, and it goes up, and it goes up. The people that held back here when it was at 14, now have 145. I mean, this is what it takes. When you have conviction on a stock, you ignore all the negative people. You just, in fact, you know what? I was going to save this, but I'm going to tell it right now. You know what? So WKHS, final stock, and then I'm going to leave you with a tidbit of advice. So this is the monthly chart on WKHS. This thing got short seller hit to death. Short sellers killed this stock. But you know what? A lot of people got a lot of long-term conviction on this. The last time I looked, I think their contracts are backed up through like 2023. Like they have enough business to keep them busy all the way through the end of next year. Ridiculous. The stock's not going to zero. It's not going anywhere. All this thing is going to do is grow. So short sellers, whatever. They made their money. Now it's time for bulls to jump back in and make their money. I'm actually pretty bullish on this. We had this long consolidation on the stock, and it consolidated. Then it starts getting picked up by Reddit a little bit. The EMAs are starting to turn a little bullish again. We're back above levels of support. So for all of those reasons, I bought another monthly call option on this. So maybe down 20% now, but I think there's at least some hope that this thing gets above $16 over the course of the next month. I mean, come on, we're 40 cents away. So I think this will get back up. I've got pretty high hopes for that, getting above 16 bucks. So all of that said, I want to leave you guys with one tidbit of advice. And that's this. Let me see if I can pull up. I don't know how else to do this better, so we'll just do it like this. So Warren Buffett is famous for a quote. And Warren Buffett said this. He said that the stock market, I'm going to butcher this quote so bad. Somebody put the correct quote in the comments, please. Warren Buffett said something to the extent of, the stock market is the greatest transfer of wealth from the impatient to the patient. And so I want to leave you guys with this. Let me make this bigger so you guys can see it. I'll make this maybe 26. Okay. You guys have heard of this, right? FUD. It's been going around a lot lately. Everybody's talking about FUD. Okay? And for those of you guys who don't know what FUD is, it's fear. I don't know how to spell uncertainty. Anyway, did I get it right? I don't know. Spell check didn't pop up. Maybe I did. Cool. I don't know. I'm way better at stocks and math than I am at spelling. And doubt. So FUD. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt. Okay? Here's what I want you guys to do. Whenever you're hit with FUD, whenever somebody comes in and they give you FUD, and you're getting scared and you're getting concerned because your stock's down 40% or people are saying it's going to go to zero, here's what I want you to do. I want you to replace FUD with FUD. Here's what that is. Facts, understanding. I made that too big. Facts, understanding, I can't spell. How do you spell this? Is it like that? No, wait. It's, I don't know. Is that how you spell it? Yeah, sure. Great. Facts, understanding, and due diligence. So you get hit and you could start getting fearful. You start getting a little bit of doubt, little uncertainty. Did I make the right play? My stock is down. I'm not really sure. You start getting that FUD, that fear, uncertainty, and doubt. I want you to go replace it with FUD. Facts, understanding, and due diligence. Go back to why you bought that stock. Why did you buy the stock? You should know why you bought a stock before you ever buy it. If it helps, grab your journal, okay? I got a trading journal. Everybody should have one. You grab your journal and you write down, why did you buy the stock, okay? And then when you start getting FUD, go back, grab your journal, grab your trading journal, review why you bought that stock. And then go do some due diligence. And maybe something changed. Maybe there was some news that came out. Maybe there was a major share offering. Maybe they lost some contract. Go do a little bit of due diligence. Make sure the reasons you bought that stock are still in place. Get the facts. And once you do, you're going to have enough understanding to know whether or not to keep the stock, or maybe you buy the dips. Maybe you buy more. So, replace FUD with FUD. Turn that FUD into FUD. That's what I'm going to leave you guys with today. If you're looking for a broker, recommend Webull in the United States. Interactive Brokers if you're outside of the United States. Again, I do have a material connection with both of those. But please go check out. I've got links in the description below. For Interactive Brokers, they have extremely discounted trading worldwide. Plus, you get access to U.S. stocks. You get access to OTC penny stocks if you select United States penny stocks. In addition to that, you have full pre-market and after-hours trading on both Webull and Interactive Brokers. I love you guys. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you guys have a ton of success, and I will be back tomorrow with a full video. Good night.